Alright, so the standard that I chose is Instructional Conversation. So, Instructional Conversation by Tasha Bland. Instructional Conversation's main purpose was to benefit culturally and linguistically diverse learners. ICs are an authentic conversation between a teacher and a small group of students. This allows a teacher to be able to make sure that every student is participating equally and there's no one student that's overshadowing someone else. This can also lead to students feeling like they're more involved and like their opinion is actually being heard because they're in a small, tight-knit group instead of a large classroom where they feel like they're too nervous or too scared to voice their opinion because someone might make fun of them. This chart shows the difference of test scores when the teacher taught with an instructional conversation approach versus when the teacher used a more conventional or basal-like approach. As you can see, the scores don't differ much for the comprehensive test, but when it comes to the students writing an essay about friendship and being able to explain the meaning of friendship on a deeper level, the scores of the students with the IC approach completely surmounted the scores of students that had the conventional basal-like approach. This shows that ICs can only benefit. It allows students to gain a deeper understanding of a subject while also learning the opinions and the views of fellow students. This also gives teachers a great opportunity, if they have a very large classroom, to be able to get some one-on-one time with the students to see how they're progressing, if they're struggling in anything, and just being able to help them along even more. Alright, here is a list of the instructional elements that go into instructional conversations. Thematic focus. This is when the teacher picks a theme or idea just to get the conversation started, to get the ball rolling, to get kids intrigued and wanting to ask more questions and have a conversation with each other. Activation and use of background and relevant scheme. This is when the teacher provides background knowledge necessary for the students to gain an understanding of what they're about to discuss, so they're not just talking about something that they have no idea about. Direct teaching. This, when necessary, is when the teacher provides direct teaching of a skill so that the students, if they're really not understanding what the teacher is trying to get them to have a conversation about, the teacher would provide a direct teaching approach. Promotion of more complex language and expression. The teacher brings out more student contribution by having the students expand by using phrases such as, tell me more about this. What do you mean by this? Can you try to explain that in another way? In other words, this. And then finally, the promotion of bases for statements or positions. This is the use of text, pictures, and reasoning to support their position. Using processes like, how did you know that? And what makes you think that? Could you expand more on that? Now on to the conversational elements of instructional conversation. There's going to be few known answer questions. If you offer few known answer questions, it has more than one correct answer to allow all the different opinions of the students to flow and be voiced on a subject and to keep the conversation going. So it's not just, oh, there's only one right answer to this. The one student said it already, so now the other students don't know what to say. Responsiveness to student contributions. The teacher remains responsive to statements and questions students may have and jump in when students need help understanding something that another student has said or that the teacher is trying to say to keep the conversation going. Connected discourse. This is multiple interactive connective turns in a conversation. Challenging but non-threatening atmosphere. This is very important. It allows the teacher to be more of a collaborator than an evaluator, and they're there to offer help and listen to the opinions of the students rather than to judge the students on what they have as their opinions, so the students feel free to vocalize what they're thinking and feeling about a certain opinion. And then finally, general participation. Teacher does not determine who talks and they're encouraged to influence conversation turns. They're not going to say, it's your turn to talk now. No, because you're going to be in such a small group that hopefully all the students do feel free to talk, that they're not scared and there's no one student overshadowing the rest. Instructional conversations in elementary school requires more teacher involvement, making sure that every student's participating and involved and benefiting from the exercises. When you're in elementary school, even if you're in small groups, there's always going to be the shy kids that still don't want to voice their opinion because they feel like they have no idea what they're talking about, and all their friends are going to look at them like they're strange if they actually say their opinion. And some of the students are having trouble finding the words that they're meaning to use. The teacher can help by saying a likely response and asking if that is what they meant to say. On the next slide, you'll see a video of a teacher and her involvement with the students in an elementary school setting. In contrast, high school instructional conversations in high school do not require much teacher involvement. The teacher's just there to make sure that the students stay on or around the topic that she first started with. This allows students to make the connections on their own. ICs in high school are also meant for students to gain a deeper understanding and relevance of the lesson, so that later on, if they're taking college level courses in high school, or when they do go to college if they choose to, they're prepared already. It's not just blindsided, I don't know how to understand the deeper meaning of things. You're already preparing them for the college experience. Alright, now here's the video. As you can see, it's a very small group of kids, and they're all in a very tight circle because she wants them all to be involved in what they're about to do. What she's going to have them do is make a puzzle. But before they start making the puzzle, she's going to have them try to find what they've made this puzzle before as a bigger class. So what she's going to try to have them do is find some key elements to making the puzzle. This puzzle has a big red line as a border, so she's having them all trace the big red line border around the box to show that that's how they start building the puzzle, is they find the pieces with that red line on it, and they connect them all together like that, and then they already have the border built. She's making sure that every student's participating. They're all taking turns. There's no one student just that keeps tracing the line. They're all taking turns. And if students are being shy, she's also having them vocalize and use their words by saying what they're finding. For instance, she keeps making them say that they're finding the red edge. After they find the red edge, she's going to give them each a puzzle piece. And you can see now that they have the red edge built, and now they just need to fill in the middle, which is going to be a little more difficult because it doesn't have that red border for them to follow now. Now they just have to go off the shapes and everything. As you can see, this little girl has the very last piece of the red edge, and she's having a harder time trying to find out how to make it fit. So the teacher's including everybody else and asking how she can make it fit. And right now they're all saying, well, turn it around, turn the piece around more so that the red line is there. She's having the little girl finish the piece even though other people know how the piece fits, so that the little girl will know and will learn from this experience about the red edge and how to find your outside lining of the puzzle. And now she gets the piece of the puzzle in. She finally finds the red edge and it clicks for her. And now they have the edge completely made all the way around. So now all they have left to do is to fill in your middle pieces of the puzzle. So now they all just grab a piece and are trying to figure out the colors and kind of like squares where they go by looking on the box, seeing what it shows on the box, hoping that they can piece that together like that. She's making sure that everybody keeps on trying to be interactive. First, she's going to let this little boy find his piece because he's very involved in this puzzle, as you can see. But she also wants these people on the outer edge, like the little boy in the light blue shirt and the girl who has a puzzle piece to her head. She wants to make sure to try to keep them involved in making the puzzle too, so it's not just one kid overshadowing the rest. Now, instructional conversations in high school are going to go completely different than this. It's not going to be the teacher so involved making sure to keep every student doing all of this, because kids in high school are expected to already be involved as much as they can. So making the puzzle, finding those final pieces, where to go, how to get everything going better. And they just finally have those two final pieces. And you can see the little boy is very tired from all his interaction for making this puzzle. And they're just trying to get these final two pieces in. And they're using the box again to make sure that they can try to find it and match it up. And they're asking everyone for help, trying to find these last pieces, making sure that they fit. And the teacher's making sure that they all try to use clues to find it instead of just randomly guessing. I think this piece would go here because this has a curve and this has an opening. They're using more than just the shape of the puzzle piece itself. They're using the clues on the box, the colors of the puzzle, the clues of what's on the puzzle piece itself, because it has letters and pictures that correspond with the letter. And that is my PowerPoint presentation. Thank you.